Welcome! In today's episode we are going to discuss everything about how to predict the weather on our own without tuning into any news channel or local weather broadcast. We will also dive deep into how nature also gives us ample clues that might help us in predicting what next is in store for us. Weather forecasts are essential and important for anyone involved in outdoor activities. However, official forecasts can sometimes be unreliable and hard to come by. Using the clouds to forecast the weather can be much more accurate for short-term and local conditions. So let's get to work and explore how to forecast the weather by ourselves by looking at the clouds. The very first thing to mention is about where do we get most of our bad weather from. We get it from depressions. Depressions are areas of low pressure which bring rain, wind, and cloud. However, they never come without warning. There's always a series of clouds that come before them, indicating us of our approach. The first clouds warning you of an approaching depression are cirrus clouds. These high, wispy clouds indicate that the warm front of a depression is 12 to 24 hours away. The next clouds you'll usually see are cirrus stratus clouds. These are layers of ice crystals, which often cover the whole sky. They mean that the warm front of a depression is about 10 to 15 hours away. The sun and moon can always be seen through them, and a halo often forms around the sun. These cirrus stratus clouds lower and thicken into alto stratus clouds, which are relatively featureless layers of water droplets. They cover the whole sky and mean that rain is about 4 hours away. These alto stratus clouds then thicken and lower into the rain-bearing nimbostratus clouds. These bring increasing amounts of rain and generally last about 4 hours. Now, next cloud is quite an interesting cloud, not because it's particularly attractive, but because it's an extremely accurate weather forecaster. Panis clouds are gray, fragmented or wispy clouds which form below raining clouds. They are formed by the moistening of air by rain from above, and they mean that it will be raining in the next 10 minutes. So if you see these clouds, then remember to wear the waterproofs and pack up the picnic. Next on the list are cumulus clouds. These fair weather cumulus clouds, which are less tall than they are wide, are great clouds to see. As if they're seen after mid-morning, then they'll be fair weather for the rest of the day. This is because they won't develop into the rain-bearing cumulonimbus clouds. However, their bigger brother, the towering cumulonimbus cloud, is not a cloud to mess with. They bring heavy showers, strong winds, and often thunder. They usually have anvil-shaped tops, and as they're so tall the top part has turned to ice, giving this kind of fibrous or soft look. You will also see the Panis clouds that we talked about earlier under them, and this confirms that rain is coming. So watch out if one of these is upwind of you. Finally, look out for this cloud. Although these altocumulus clouds look pretty harmless, these white cloudlets which clump together in patches or layers indicate that the air is unstable, and this means that showers or thunderstorms are likely later. And in the hours after I saw this particular one, over 250,000 lightning strikes were recorded. And higher cirrocumulus clouds, along with the altocumulus clouds, mean storms later too. And they can also form in bands before fronts approach. You should now be well equipped to deal with most of the skies you see. Well, this was all about clouds helping us to predict how's the weather going to be for us in the foreseeable future. Now let's take a step back in time and explore few old-fashioned ways to predict the weather. This is how our ancestors used to predict the weather using these fascinating techniques when there wasn't any technology to help the mankind. Closed in the morning, it'll be pouring. Our first weather prediction technique involves observing the behavior of certain flowers. Did you know that some flowers like dandelions and tulips close their petals at night? If these petals remain closed in the morning, it could be a sign of impending rain. Scientists believe this phenomenon, known as nyctinacity, may be nature's way of protecting pollen from becoming wet. Red sky in the morning, sailors take warning. Red sky at night, sailors delight. What a beauty of a colorful sunrise or sunset. But did you know it can also provide insight into the weather? When the sky appears particularly red during sunrise or sunset, it indicates that the sun is shining through a dense atmosphere of water vapor, droplets, and dust. A red sky in the morning suggests stormy weather may be on its way from the west. Conversely, a red sky in the evening signifies that the weather has improved as the clouds have moved eastward. Clear moon, frost soon. When the sky is clear and the moon shines brightly, brace yourself for a chilly morning. Cloud cover acts as insulation, trapping heat and preventing rapid temperature drops. So, if you find yourself gazing at a clear moon, be prepared for frosty conditions the following morning. Next is the turn of cats. Alright, thinkers, here's an interesting one. Have you ever noticed your cat's behaving oddly before it rains? According to folklore, if your cat washes behind its ears, sneezes, or snores, it's a sure sign of impending rain. Cats seem to have a mysterious intuition when it comes to weather changes. Next come the crickets. By counting the number of chirps sounded by crickets in a 14-second period, adding 40 to that number, you can estimate the temperature in Fahrenheit. Take a few measurements, calculate the average, and you'll have a pretty accurate idea of the temperature outdoors. Rains before 7, fine by 11. This observation is based on the idea that if it's raining at 7 a.m., it likely rained throughout the night, and the storm is on its way out. During the hours between 7 a.m. and 11 a.m., the sun begins to heat up the Earth's atmosphere, helping dissipate any remaining rain clouds. So, don't worry if you see rain early in the morning, chances of things will clear up by 11 a.m. And there you have it, thinkers, 6 old-fashioned ways to predict the weather. With the aim to learn about a new thing every time and get 1% better, we are concluding today's episode. In the end, hope you find this episode quite informative and interesting. We are committed to make the world that we live in more and more meaningful for each one of you. Thank you.